again, YouTube. This is Dr. Kendo, and I'm here with Scribblenauts Unlimited, the object editor commentaries, and this is where I create your favorite characters in the Scribblenauts Unlimited object editor, which is a feature only on the Wii U and PC versions of this game. But here we go. We're going to start off with a boy as the source object for today's creations. I usually just pick whatever is most popular and most requested each week by the most amount of different viewers. So for this week, we're going to be creating Tattletail characters. Crazy! Take all of these pieces off, you know, the head, the arms, the legs, all of that good stuff. Leave the torso of the boy right here, of course, and then put down an ostrich egg if you're going by my design here. So the ostrich egg is going to be kind of the bulk of our creation, the main parts of Tattletail, I guess. We've got a golden egg up next for this basically cream-colored, tan-ish part of Tattletail right here. And the pom-pom is actually what we typed in next to go as some hair tufts at the top of the head here, so you may need to increase the size and decrease it, because basically you want all of these pieces that we're attaching right now to attach to that boy torso specifically. You know, you can connect things in Scribblenauts Unlimited to the arms, the legs, the head, the torso of a character or whatever, especially humans and humanoids, of course, for those specific body parts. Fang, twice, we actually use for the start of the ears, and we're going to finish that off with an Allosaurus going with the back, farthest back tail piece, basically, and that's going to be this kind of outer part of the ear there. But again, you may need to, if you're attaching things to the torso, you can only move them so high up before the game kind of has its limit to how far you can move a stamp piece. So everything that we're putting down right now is considered a stamp piece in this game, like the pom-pom or the Allosaurus tails that we're putting down right now. And so next we'll go ahead and type in a golf ball. I'm going to use that golf ball right here, actually twice, of course, but one on each side for the eyes, or the main white part of the eyes right here all around. Kind of big eyes, but up high. And then we'll go with pearl next for the iris, you know, this colored part of the eyes right here. And so that's looking pretty good. The pearl can't shrink down, for instance, as small as a golf ball, or for instance, what we just put down here, which is P, and those can shrink down really small. So the pearl is going to be kind of our limiter for what these eyes are going to look like right here, but that's going to be all right. I am going to increase the size of the object overall, which you can do by the plus and minus sign over there on your panel of buttons. And so then I'm going to type in Tooth Fairy wings, so specifically do wings plural right there when you're doing Tooth Fairy wings, or any kind of wings that are not just the normal wing, because if you just type in Tooth Fairy wing, it'll error you back to the regular actual wing. It'll put a line through and cross out the Tooth Fairy part. But we grabbed one of those. That's going to be this snout area right here with the nose piece. Actually, you know, it looks like a heart, but kind of from the side, which we're viewing every Scribblenauts character that we create, at least somewhat sideways. Fry is what we typed in, and of course use the fish fry, not a French fry. And so that makes a pretty good nose heart shape from the side, sort of, or at least a semi-side, we should say. And I went with a pimple on both sides of the eyes for just some more shininess and glimmer in the eyes. Now, I was going to put the one on to our right. I was going to have that on the right side of the eye, but I'm actually going to put it on the left side of that right eye right there. I like the light all coming from that one direction. And so then we're going to go with the dot right now, and you can paint the dot all the way black. We're going to use another dot pretty soon, but that dot is in essence going to be the mouth open right here. So underneath that Tooth Fairy wing piece that you used earlier, that's where you want to put the dot. And you want to use these buttons down in the bottom left and the bottom right of your panel of buttons that you can do to edit and stuff like that. Those are the layer buttons, and so you can layer different things to be behind or in front of other stamps that you've placed down already. So with that, of course, the dots are behind the Tooth Fairy wing, and then the second dot is sort of for the lips or the lower part of the mouth, you know, for the Tattletail there. Looking good, almost finished here, but we're gonna need to type in monster next, and I grabbed the leg that would be to our left, but it's the monster's right leg. It's a little bit thinner and gonna be more realistic for what we need for the Tattletail here. So layer those all the way in the back, and I still connected them to the torso. If you for some reason wanted your Tattletail maybe to have moving legs, then you could put it on the boy's actual leg grids, you know, where the legs are supposed to go for the boy. Pom-pom, we did that twice, and that's actually gonna going to do it for the creation because those pom-poms were basically moved all the way in the back as well and moved over to the side to be some fur and whatnot. So just have it peeking out ever so slightly. And actually, I thought of some more things we can do since we do have a little bit more stamp space. Okay, but that's the limit actually. So that's good because we just got in these two pieces that I was going to do, which is a dartfish. If you take that top dorsal fin of the dartfish, that can act as a good little eyelid for our Tattletail character. So just put it at the very, very top, thin as possible, or nearly as small as possible, and put that at the top of the eyes. But all right, we're going into the properties editor now, and this is where I just read background information and fun facts about whatever we're creating. So here we go. Tattletail is a short, story-driven, first-person horror game about everyone's favorite toy from the 90s. So you mean my Nintendo 64, huh? Got him! Got him! But no, this is about the Furby-like toy called Tattletail, or Talking Tattletails, and the game that features these furry toys was released on Steam on December 28th, 2016, so somewhat recently from the time of this recording. The game's story, as best as can be quickly summed up, is basically that you've opened your Tattletail before Christmas and now it won't stay in the box, so you're supposed to keep the Tattletail out of trouble until Christmas Day. What trouble, you might ask? Well, a certain Mama Tattletail, creepy as all get out, will be trying to find her baby and hunt you down. And Mama has apparently been recalled after a rumored incident of eating a kid's eyes out. Only rumors, sure, but anyway, I saw basically the entire game through videos on YouTube, but haven't played it myself. Honestly, I do feel though that I've absorbed everything that I need to know and gotten the experience by watching all the different things and the eggs, etc. that you can do in the game. But if you notice, we kind of copy our Tattletail design. We can also make the other colored Tattletails. So for instance, there's a blue Tattletail. Instead of doing blue Tattletail, I'm just going to do Tattletail blue so that Scribblenauts doesn't think that I'm applying an adjective or anything to the character. And the same is going to go for the yellow Tattletail, so I just called it Tattletail Yellow, and we actually moved the position of the mouth differently on each one, so you could notice, for instance, the yellow one had a midway open, but the blue, the mouth was almost all the way closed. I also moved the position of the eyes a little bit, you know, just to make each one a little bit different if you want to see that variation in the design. Now we're going to apply this scripting to each one of them. Not only do they vibrate when they get created and then remove the adjective of vibrating, but also we're going to have it so that when they see Mama, basically, who we're going to create next, they are going to show a little scared emotion. So of course, this is when this object sees an object, we type in mom and get a general category, which is going to be family. So we're going to type in family right there. We'll have it then express an emotion. Of course, click self so that it is doing it itself, not making the trigger target do the emotion. And we'll do that kind of scaredy face, the purple scaredy face. But we really don't need to start out with a mom as the source object. You just kind of need any of these humans. You could even start out with a boy again if you want to, but just to allude to Mama here, I did start off with a mom. The main thing for the scripting that is going to be important though is just that objects react to it as a mom. So to save yourself an extra step, I guess you could just start off with a mom as the source object. You can see that now I put down tofu, and we're going to do that twice because one of the tofus is going to be that cream colored tofu, and then the brown for the fur of Mama right there for the second bigger tofu. An ostrich egg also going to be brown like that. That'll be the bulk of Mama's body here. So Mama has that line where it can pivot or rotate the head basically in the middle of its body. And so that's why we created this one just a little bit differently, of course, than the other Tattletail characters. Now we did use a hairnet just a second ago. The hairnet is going to be for the snout area and the muzzle and all that, with the tooth fairy wing being the actual where the nose is going to go on top of once again. And so dot, we're going to do that kind of similar to how we just did. Of course, the dot being black with another dot behind that to be the lips right there for the open mouth. Fry, I'll do that again for the fry fish, of course, right here. We'll paint it a little bit different color just to get some other color variety in here. I'm going to then type in grills, Grillz, not S. So the grills we're going to put down here. That'll be like the little play buttons and stuff for this cassette player area here on the tummy for Mama. And cuttlefish, we take the top antenna arm at the top of it basically, and the farthest away end piece right there. Flip it upside down and put it here for the cassette. And pearl is what I can type in after that to get the eye shape, that outer shape of the eye right here. Paint it all the way white. If you do kind of like a bleach white color, it gets rid of any shine or details that might be in a stamp. So if you do like pitch black or bleach white, that's a good way to get rid of those if you ever do kind of have a stamp that's the right shape, shape, but you don't want all the little details and shading and stuff like that. And so we can go with a haystack, or you can do the pom-pom like we did last time, but just to give you another option of hair for this tuft of hair at the very top of their head. Of course, the haystack, I did increase and decrease the size as needed to be able to move it in the right position. PEA, of course, spells P, so we got the P for the pupil of our mama right here, and monster, we're going to use the feet again for the monster leg or foot, and that's all looking pretty good. So we'll do the ears how we did the last ones as well. So you can see that we're taking a lot of the pieces from our just first Tattletail creation and now doing the same for mama, because they are similar, but there are these differences. For instance, the rotating body and stuff, which we did the tofus, and that cassette area in the front, which is oh so 90s. And so this is all good. It looks like we're going to reach the stamp limit here with the last little piece, which I did as the fry tail. I copied that. We're going to do a white outline because the Tattletails in various images do have a white outline around that little heart nose. And so here you can see that I made the source audio a toy, but I'm actually going to change that, I think, because the toy doesn't really have any audible sound. So we'll probably just keep them both as mom, but of course you want the objects to react to it as a mom. Under the equipment tab, both for the boy source and the mom source right here, each of these objects we've done that in the equipment tab, they can be held in the hand, just in case you want to hold them like a little toy. So when this object is created, here's mama's scripting right there. We're going to add an adjective, wait a set time, of course, after the adjective of red is added. I just did 82 frames. That goes a little bit faster than you'd probably think. Of course, I want the adjective to be on self, so I did that for both of them, but basically it's to make it be like this demonic mama right when she's placed down and everything. She'll be red, and then the red will go away. But hopefully you saw on screen the little script works. Of course, even if I'm carrying mama over to these little talking Tattletails, they all get scared and they're like, no more mama. So that is working how I want it to. You can turn off the repeatable if you don't want them to be continuously scared, but if you do want them to be scared as long as they can see mama, then you want to make sure that repeatable is checked on their script. So of course, when we place down the Tattletails, another script they have is when they're created, it will add the adjective of vibrating. So you saw that little middle Tattletail toy that I just placed down, the purple one, it was vibrating for a little while. That's just like to represent them talking or shaking or whatever. And so if you want to, you can also make their script be like they eat food, or you can make them show a little heart emotion when they see a brush or something like that if you want to allude to the game. But there we go. Please let me know if you enjoyed the creations. Of course, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. There's plenty of other franchises we've created from, because there is well over 200 episodes in this series right now, so plenty of other stuff to see. Whatever's most popular and most requested by the most amount of different viewers will get created next Sunday, because I upload every Sunday. So anyway, you guys are amazing. Sorry, yes, I'm still a little bit sick, so that probably comes through here, but I am getting a lot better. So if anybody hears that nasal or half losing my voice kind of sound, that's because I just had, you know, one of those nagging colds, but it is a lot better today, so at the time that I record this. But all right, have yourself a great day. I will catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
To the point of no return to the rest of our lives.